Hello and welcome back to the SISAUNDRA show. Before we went on break, I was sitting here speaking with Mr. Durden about all the challenges that he's faced in his life from alcohol, drugs, pornography, gang banging, spending over 20 years of your life in institutions to now giving your life to Christ. Yes. What we want to know at this point is, where did you realize enough was enough? When did you realize it and you sought the help that you needed?
Well, I was getting different situations that I thought enough was enough. But when enough was enough for me was the last time I was in an abandoned building. I was in an abandoned building in Overtown, Miami, Florida, in a crack house, smoking crack. And when I would get high, I would often start ministering to myself while I'm getting high. And so that's where my name From Crack to Christ came from. The hashtag From Crack to Christ is because that was my transition. That was my Damascus Road experience.
I love it.
The crack house. And so that last moment that I found, I got that spiritual awakening was God telling me to come out. Come out. Enough is enough. You better than this.
Wow.
You know, you wasn't raised like this.
Right.
And so God ordered my steps to the Miami Rescue Mission.
I love that. So, and you know what else? You said you weren't raised like this. And, you know, I attribute a lot of me aligning my life and our lives when we have parents who are Christians. It says to raise a child in the manner that it should go, and they will not depart from it. I'm not repeating that verbatim, but you know what I'm saying.
Train them up.
So you train them up, and then you were trained in that manner, and no matter how much you were out in the streets, there's that voice of God, you know, that helps you to understand and discern that that's not where you're supposed to be. I believe in that.
Yes.
What a beautiful thing it is. So through all the hardships, you made it out.
Yes.
And regardless of your circumstances, you never fell victim to that. Why do you go by the name? I know you just touched on it a little bit. Why do you go by the name The Street Minister?
Well, because where God found me is where he wanted to use me.
I love that.
You know, I got homies who I left out there. I got homies who I left in prison who ain't never coming home, you know, that see me as inspiration.
Yes.
I got guys who was in the streets with me that know who I was before my transition, that see me as inspiration today. So that's where my ministry is at. That's where my pulpit is at, is in the streets.
That's awesome. From hedges to highways.
Yeah. I was preaching in the abandoned building. So, you know, that's my signature is being out in the community, being accessible to the least of them. And not saying the least of them in terms of they're lower than or I'm better than, but just the lowly of the life people
and meeting
that's
them
at
where
the
they're
bottom.
at. Exactly.
People who have given up hope. Those are the people that I'm trying to reach.
And a lot of those people, they won't necessarily come to the church. Yes. You know what I'm saying? I'm a bishop's daughter. My father was a pastor. And so there were many times where he would set up a tent and we would just go out in the streets and have revival. And so I agree that you have to go and meet people. Sometimes they feel like coming into the doors of the church house, they're going to be judged. They're going to be, or they don't feel welcome.
Yes.
And so once they start getting to know you and you opening up that avenue, I think it's amazing work that you're doing. I think it's totally necessary, you know, in our community. So you are a community activist in Miami, Florida, and you're president of a nonprofit organization called S.H.E.A.R, S-H-E.A.R Inc. Tell us about S.H.E.A.R Inc.
Well, that was the birth child of my mother. She's the founder. She started this organization originally as the Christian Women's Club Corporation. It was just her and her best friend going to go pay light bills, you know, taking diapers to single mothers, just doing outreach that way. And so
and this was the way you were raised in her home?
Yeah, just doing God's work.
You just coming back home.
Right, I'm just coming back home.
I love it.
I was at the Miami Rescue Mission, which is Miami Rescue Mission is a center that I graduated from. Is a drug treatment program, faith-based organization. And so while I was in the program, my mother asked me, did I want to become president? Now, at this time, you know how mothers are. She didn't really she felt at that time I was ready. And so she gave me that responsibility to become the president of the Christian Men's Club Corporation, which then we changed the name to S.H.E.A.R Inc., which stands for Sharing Hope, Empowerment, and Reaction.
That's amazing.
So thank God for a praying mother. Thank God for a mother with vision.
Come on now.
And she gave me purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm also known as a weeping prophet. So if I get watery eyed, it's just a little lint in my eyes.
It's all right because Jesus
it's gratitude.
wept.
Yes.
Come on, if he wept, it's okay if you do.
I'm grateful.
You do that. Listen, so tell us about the Holy Ghost in the Hood.
Holy Ghost in the Hood was an event I started. I work with so many local artists in South Florida, gospel rappers, gospel singers, mime dancers, liturgical dancers. I was just like, listen, you know, oftentimes we have gospel concerts. It doesn't seem inclusive.
Come on, it's true.
And so
of all genres and how you can reach people through Christ.
Right. And so I wanted to take the gospel to the streets. So we took a big event called Holy Ghost in the Hood, and we took it to the streets, and we made it a more of a community-oriented event. It wasn't so much as a church event, because sometimes when people hear church, they get turned away. But we just opened it up for the community and made it a community event, and it was a beautiful experience.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you are so active in your community, but you got a personal life that's really amazing, too. You are married now.
Yeah, I'm married, got a beautiful wife. She's been putting up with me now for 7 years.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, and she's heaven sent, man. I thank God for her. She's my accountability partner, I call her.
That's awesome.
And so she holds my feet to the fire. She makes me a better person.
That's so
She's
wonderful
a better
to
part
hear.
of myself.
Yes,
so
yes.
Thank God for her.
Hats off to her and your mom. You've got some very powerful women in your life to look up to as well.
Yes.
So how can our listening audience follow you and the work that you're doing in South Florida?
Well, if they're on social media, they can follow me on Instagram as The Street Minister.
The Street Minister on Instagram.
And if they're on Facebook, they can follow me as the D.A. Minister, M-I-N-I-S-T-A.
Y'all know how we
Minister.
do it. Duh, Minister.
The Minister.
Okay.
Anthony Durden on Facebook.
I love it. I love it. So it's been such a pleasure sitting here and speaking with you.
For you having me.
We wish you continued blessings and success. May you continue to reach the masses as you go out into the streets and the hedges and highways, all right?
Yes.
We have a quote for today. Our quote says, if you can quit for a day, you can quit for a lifetime. Don't do that. Y'all know what to do. Come on, for the culture. Scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen. We have exclusive content for you right here on the SISAUNDRA Show. Until next time, God bless you. We'll see you right back here. Thank you, Minister.